Welcome to this evening's Board of Education meeting. Before we begin, I'd like to share with the audience that if you need Spanish translation services, we have Lupita here to assist.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Si alguien necesita servicios de interpretación al español, por favor hágame saber, aquí estoy disponible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lupita. On behalf of the board, we'd like to share a reminder that regarding the process for public comment during board meetings, for each agendized action, discussion, or information-only item, the board will hear from staff, provide an opportunity for public comment, then hold a board discussion and vote if necessary. Public comment on non-agendized items will be heard during item 7, and public comment on closed session items will be heard during item 9 before adjourning into closed session. Public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on items that are on the board's agenda or otherwise within the board's jurisdiction. To help us organize public comment using this system, if you wish to provide public comment, please complete a speaker card located at the entrance to the meeting room and provide it to our executive assistant, Michelle, closest to the door. Speaker cards for public comment will be accepted prior to the calling for public comment portion of an agenda item. I call this meeting to order at 5:31 p.m. and would like to now establish a quorum by roll call vote.
Board President Jason Remenzi.
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines.
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
And for the record, Board Clerk Jake Odello and Board Member Rita Patel are absent this evening.
Thank you. May I receive a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi.
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines.
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
I notify the audience that the open session will be audio taped, broadcast, and recorded for the district's YouTube channel. Matt, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Tonight, we will not have reports from the ACT or CSEA. On to our superintendent report, agenda item 3. These are routine status updates regarding campus activities, meeting schedules, conferences, and meetings attended, and recent developments with our superintendent, Sharon Ofek.
All right, thank you. So this is our last meeting of the academic year, and although school has ended for students and staff, the district has been busy with kicking off some summer initiatives. Most notable is professional learning that started last week, the very first week of summer. They were exceptionally well attended with, I believe, 70 participants on the first day of our Summer Institute and 50 or so on the second day of our Summer Institute. And that is really an amazing demonstration of our district's staff's commitment to innovation and student engagement. We offered 2 high interest and timely sessions. The first was entitled AI for Leaders and Educators, which focused on providing a clear understanding of what AI is and, just as importantly, what it is not. Educators explored, it wasn't actually just educators. I want to just say that that session in particular attracted staff from across the district, from classroom teachers to instructional aides to business office staff. So many people, diverse group of people were in the audience. But everyone explored ways to thoughtfully engage or integrate AI tools into their classrooms or their work environment to enhance their work or student learning and increase their own efficiency. The session also featured a really good extensive time on hands-on experiences with practical tools, engaging discussions about the ethical implementation of AI, and also addressed some pretty common myths surrounding not just AI generators, but also AI detection tools. The second offering was entitled The Apathy Antidote, Empowering Positive Student Engagement in the Classroom. And this session was able to equip our teachers with practical strategies to combat student apathy, foster a positive classroom culture, and promote genuine engagement and enthusiasm in learning. The feedback from our participants was pretty powerful and very overwhelmingly positive, and it's clear that we were able to provide a strong foundation as teachers go off into the summer that help them think about and prepare for the upcoming year, and ways to integrate what they learned into their practice. In addition to professional learning, it is exciting to share that all of our summer programs are now in full swing. Last week, we began programs at Captain Cooper, And then this week we launched our Tularcitos program. Our team is excited about all the academic and enrichment opportunities and experience that we're able to offer students across the district. In particular, what's most notable is that upon multiple requests over the years, we finally found a way to offer summer programming at Captain Cooper for the whole time, instead of students having to sit on a bus to drive up to River or Tular for summer programming. And so we're excited to see how that turns out and how successful that is. And we're excited, of course, to see the kids and watch them expand their experiences beyond the classroom with all the enrichment opportunities. And we, of course, as usual, will bring a report back to the board at the end of summer about how it goes. And with that, I just want to say thank you again for all of the ongoing and continued support and partnership to help us move forward in Carmel Unified and build a better future for our students.
Thank you, Sharon. On to agenda item 4, consent calendar. Excuse me. The board may bundle a number of items and act upon them together in one motion through the use of a consent calendar. Consent agenda items are routine items deemed to be non-controversial, for which board discussion is not anticipated and for which the superintendent recommends approval. There will be no discussion on these items prior to a vote unless any member of the board requests specific items to be removed for discussion. We did not receive any requests for public comment. If there's no discussion needed for these, may I receive a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines. Yes. Board Member Matt Glazer,
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 5A, 2024 to 2025 California Dashboard Local Indicators Self-Reflection Report with Deputy Superintendent Dr. Mary Petty.
Good evening. It's on. Okay, thank you for having me again this evening, Superintendent Ofek and CUSD board members. It's always a pleasure to come and report the work that we are doing as a team and as an entire district. So here we go. Okay, so tonight I will be presenting the local indicators report. It is part of the California School Dashboard as well as our local indicators. It's always a struggle. No? Thank you. Okay. Local indicators are priority areas where data is collected, and it's collected here at the district level, and then it usually complements state indicators in the California dashboard, as I mentioned, and there are 3 requirements. First, we must report them annually. Secondly, the results must be presented at a scheduled board meeting as such, along with the LCAP approval. And finally, the findings must be reported to the California dashboard by the end of this summer. So this slide provides an overview and table of the 8 education priority areas that are identified, and also how they are identified, either by a state indicator and or a local indicator, or both. So we have priorities 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 that we must report on, and they have local indicators, and I will be sharing specifics about that in this presentation. For priority 1, it is a key focus area. It's a little different than the rest of the priorities. It covers the basic services and conditions in which our schools are ran. So based off of 22-23 DataQuest data, we have 1% of teachers that were misassigned, 100% of students that had access to the required materials needed in order to learn, and no schools here in Carmel Unified were reported as not in good repair or condition. So this indicates strong performance in meeting the basic services and conditions in our educational setting. We are required to use the most recently certified data. So in case you're wondering why it's 22-23 data, that is typically the last certified year of data that we can use so that we are ensuring consistency and accuracy across all school districts in the state. For priorities 2 through 7, these indicators are rated using a 5-point scale to measure our progress on local indicators, ranging from early exploration to full implementation with sustainability. So the ratings will be as such. Rating 1 is exploration and research, 2 is beginning development, 3 is initial implementation, 4 is full implementation, and 5 is we're fully implemented, but we're also in a sustainable setting. So for priority 2, we focus on state standards and how we implement them. As you can see, we were rated as fully implemented for aligning our materials, for teaching across all standards in all subject areas aligned to the California state standards, as well as we have full implementation to support the educators in our district to ensure that they understand mastery of our standards. And finally, full implementation and sustainability was our rating in ensuring that we have comprehensive systems to support our teachers so they can actually effectively implement those standards and teach to the standards. For priority 3, the focus is on parental involvement and family engagement. As you will see, in building relationships and creating connections between our school staff and families, we were rated at initial and full implementation. For building partnerships to improve our student outcomes, we were rated at full implementation as well. And for seeking input, ensuring that people have a voice in the process in our district, we were rated at initial and full implementation as well. In case you're wondering, the details of each of these ratings and questions are also provided this evening in the agenda as the second document. So priority 6 is a little different. We look at the California Healthy Kids Survey. It's a biannual survey of students ranging in grades 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th grade. The survey itself measures the key school climate indicators. This data compares baseline results from the 22-23 survey year with findings from the current year's survey, highlighting really the changes that we see over time. I'm not sure why we can't see it here because I can see it on my screen, but I will share the data with you anyhow. The percentage of students who feel they have a caring adult in school decreases with grade level. So from no change in 5th graders to a 2% decline by 11th grade is what we show. In contrast, in school connectedness, there was an increase for most grades. So 5th graders were up 3% from the last survey data, 7th graders were up 4%, and 11th graders were up 13%, while 9th graders saw a slight 1% decrease. These trends do suggest that although older students may feel less supported by caring adults, their overall connection to the school community and staff remains very strong. So for priority 7, there is a focus on ensuring that all students have access to a broad course of study and a balanced course of study. This means that we need to make sure that we are offering a wide variety of academic and enrichment opportunities that support diverse interests of students in our district so that we can prepare them for college, career, and really for life. As you can see, in grades 1 through 8, we have several opportunities for students. In grades 9 through 12, and for the upcoming school year, we have added some expansions. So you will see that we will have a new CTE dual enrollment course in graphic design, which is a pathway course. We will have hand building, a PE dance course, as well as an AP Spanish literature and culture course offered. So pretty exciting stuff on the horizon. Again, that slide says thank you for your time this evening and really for the year. The local indicator information does help our district identify areas of strength and opportunities for growth. Or how I've said to you all year, we always want to consider our grows, but also our glows. So thank you for supporting my department and our entire staff as we continue to serve our students and our staff.
Thank you very much. There were no requests for public comments on this item, so we can open up with board discussion, starting with Matt, if necessary.
So digesting the data there, of course we get considerations throughout the year around the local indicators, and then it culminates with the presentation of this data. What are, if you had to highlight the areas where we need to grow the most, the part of the pretty picture that might not be clear to the whole world, and then what is the prettiest part of the glows? Just to 30,000 feet.
Sure. I would say let's focus on the positive first. There are a lot of glows in this district. I think we have very dedicated teachers and staff that really do serve our students and also meet students in their diverse capacities, right? We don't have a huge school district, but we do have a lot of students with a lot of different needs. And although we have dedication to all of those needs, what I have found is we also have some areas to improve with that diverse population of students that we have in our schools. So I would say, in addition to that, we really need to continue to dive in to the student subgroup data to ensure that even the smallest number of students in each subgroup category are really getting their needs met. And that's a real high view. I mean, we could have this discussion for a long time.
For sure. And then of the data that's collected, understanding that what's available is 22-23 data, and so we are a couple years behind. Do you have any reason to question any of the data that comes forth or that becomes certified, or the thing that we're being reported on here is pretty airtight?
No, I think it's pretty airtight. I would just comment that the California Healthy Kids Survey slide is current data that we compared to 2 years ago. So I think that's pretty promising. We are still continuing to come out of the pandemic situation. I think another glow here for me has been that we have hired mental health and wellness staff in Carmel Unified, and that has continued to serve our students well so that they could continue to focus on academics and or, CTE courses or whatever their passions are.
Yeah, and given that we have current data from the California Healthy Kids Survey, do you have any reason to question the data that is informing this presentation?
I would say this. It would be nice to have more participants in the elementary level. We had very small numbers of students who responded. I am curious about how fifth graders may have felt in a more robust way. We had very small numbers. Parents have to opt in and give permission, so that changes it a little bit. So our secondary students, we had several more students this year take the survey as compared to 2 years ago. So that was a plus. But it would be nice to have more elementary data. Did I answer your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what the question
Okay.
is. Given the data that we have and what story it tells,
Yes.
how we digest that. So thank you very much. That's
You're
great.
welcome. Thank you.
That was actually one of my questions was what were the percentages of students that actually participated and filled this out? So I would love, when we're all sitting here next June, to see what the participation numbers look like. And then maybe is there a plan to increase or improve that? I don't know if there's any messaging or positioning that goes around whether or not the parents, opt in or opt out. But I think that would just be something interesting to look at to try and get better, better participation rates going
Yeah,
forward.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think one of the glows that you left out are the expansion programs.
Sure.
I think those are fantastic, and I don't think they're spoken about enough in this district. So kudos to you and all the teams that have worked to make that happen. So those are
Thank you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And then also, thank you for also articulating that this California Dashboard Local Indicators report, self-reflection report, is also tied to the LCAP in terms of timing and when everything is presented, because I think that's something notable. So
Yes,
thank you.
just as a side note, a lot of these metrics are also intertwined in the LCAP metric data. So.
Great.
And also, I would just say, Sarah, there's so many glows. So I wasn't purposefully trying to leave things out.
Yeah, no, I
but-
know.
But yeah, I just,
Yeah,
I
no,
can't,
know.
I mean, I'd be up here all night.
Yeah,
But there are
absolutely.
so many wonderful things here.
Yeah, I just wanted to call that one out too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you, Mary, for this self-reflection. I also am very excited about the course offerings that we're adding here, and I think we're very blessed in this community to offer our kids a really enriching education that a lot of places don't have the opportunity to.
I concur.
Yep. So glad you're here. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
If there's no other discussion, may I receive a motion to approve the 2024-25 local performance indicator self-reflection as presented?
I move to approve the 2024-25 local performance indicator self-reflection as presented.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines,
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
On to agenda item 5B, the 2025-2026 Local Control Accountability Plan, also known as the LCAP approval, with Deputy Superintendent Dr. Mary Petty.
Thank you again for having me. So this evening, we are presenting the final version of the 25-26 CUSD Local Control and Accountability Plan for board approval. The plan reflects the input gathered through our extensive stakeholder engagement process and is aligned to the district's strategic priorities. CUSD did not receive any public comments or requests for changes during the public review period during the last 2 weeks. So we are recommending that the board adopt the LCAP as presented.
Thank you. And the board did not receive any requests for public comment tonight on this agenda item. And we'll open it up for board discussion with Matt.
Given the presentation that we received in the June 4th meeting and the data that's been presented and having heard no additional public comment, I have no questions.
Thank you.
I echo that sentiment, and thank you again for an excellent presentation during the June 4th meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and I have no questions or comments. May I receive a motion to approve the 2025-2026 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025-2026 Local Control Accountability Plan as presented.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines.
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
Agenda item 5C, the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget adoption and statement of excess reserves with Chief Business Official Yvonne Perez.
Yes, thank you. So on June, at the last board meeting, you received a presentation, a comprehensive presentation on the 25-26 budget. And just like the LCAP, we have not received any additional comments from the public on this. And there hasn't been anything that changed. And so I am recommending approval of the 25-26 budget.
Thank you. And the board did not receive any requests for public comment tonight on this agenda item. I'll open it up for board discussion with Matt.
Given the presentation from the June 4th meeting, which was comprehensive and informative, I do not have any other questions.
I echo that sentiment as well, and thank you again for the comprehensive and detailed presentation from the last meeting.
Thank you, Yvonne. May I receive a motion to adopt the fiscal year 2025-26 general operating budget and 2025-26 Carmel Unified School District statement of reasons for excess reserves as presented?
I move to adopt the fiscal year 2025-2026 general operating budget and 2025-26 Carmel Unified School District statement of reasons for excess reserves as presented.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines,
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
Agenda item 5D, resolution number 25-11, the Education Protection Account, EPA, with Chief Business Official Yvonne Perez.
Yes, thank you again. This is an annual resolution that we are required to bring to the board. And attached to the resolution explains the purpose of the resolution and why this is required. And we can see that on the attachment, there was $419,402 estimated for the current fiscal year. And we're estimating through the LCFF calculation that next year it will be $413,668. So I'm recommending approval of this resolution.
Thank you. The board received no requests for public comment, so we can open up for board discussion, starting with Matt.
The text of the resolution is very clear and explanatory, so I don't have any other questions at this time.
I don't have any questions either. Thank you.
With no further discussion, may I receive a motion to approve resolution number 25-11, Education Protection Account, as presented?
I move to approve resolution number 25-11, Education Protection Account, as presented.
Second.
Board
Thank-
President Jason Rumenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines,
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
Agenda item 5E, resolution number 25-12, consideration of adoption of resolution of intention to sell Robinson Canyon Road property, also known as Robinson property, with Chief Business Official Yvonne Perez.
So tonight you have before you a very lengthy, single-spaced, 5-page resolution that details all of the past history of what the board has taken, action that the board has taken in the past on selling the property known as Robinson property. That's what we're going to call it now. And so, as you know, the district owns a small 1,800 square foot parcel. The property has no current or future educational use and was declared surplus by the board in 2023 and again in 2024. As required, the district offered it to public agencies and nonprofits. The County of Monterey made an offer but withdrew their offer in August of 2024. And as we know, the barn, sadly, it really was a sad event, was destroyed by fire in February 2025. With the priority process complete, we went through that process previously. We can now go on to a next step, which is to offer the property at a public sale via competitive bidding as outlined in Ed Code and in the resolution. So Resolution 2512 declares the board's intent to sell the property. It sets a minimum bid of $200,000 and authorizes staff to move forward with advertising and with the sale of that property. So we intend to advertise the property with bidding instructions, receive sealed bids by September 5th, and those bids will be opened publicly during our September 10th board meeting. So I will continue to work diligently with our legal counsel to make sure that everything is done correctly. And with that, I am recommending that the board declare their intent to sell the Robinson property.
Thank you. The board received no requests for public comment, and I'll open it up for board discussion, starting with Matt.
So Yvonne, I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Should this resolution fail, what would the impact be do you have a sense of what the impact would be to the district?
It really would, there are some impacts to the district in terms of surplus property penalties that could occur with the district. And so there wouldn't be a whole lot of impact other than that potential of surplus property penalties. We don't really have any purpose for it. And so districts are not supposed to just hold on to property for the heck of it. So it is better to do that.
Great.
I don't have any additional questions. I know everything is, like you said, very detailed and very outlined in the document. And I know this barn, it's been a journey since you mentioned, since back in 2022. So thanks again for all the hard work that you put into this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. May I receive a motion to adopt resolution number 25-12, declaring its intention to sell certain surplus real property known as the Robinson Barn property, as presented?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 25-12, declaring the intention to sell certain surplus real property known as the Robinson Barn property, as presented.
Second.
Board President Jason Rumenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines.
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
Agenda item 5F, legal services agreement, Dennis Wolliver Kelly, attorneys at law. This is my script doesn't have all of it, but we need to, each year, so where do we go with this one, Sharon? We have to evaluate them as the first part, correct? Okay, so we have to discuss in public what are whether we are satisfied with our current legal services or not. So we received no requests for public comment, so now we can open up. I can start. Currently, I work close with our legal services team as board president with agenda stuff and questions. The response times are always very fast. I feel that when other attorneys are assigned for special cases, the consensus is that everything is in line, and I don't see any issue not to approve a satisfactory evaluation for DWK.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have, I get reporting from DWK and seeing the response, the content, quality of response and deliberation that happens at the legal level for some very complicated questions. I believe that DWK is representing the interests of the district in its most zealous capacity, and I would speak in favor of continuing the agreement and giving them a satisfactory review as well.
I mean, Sharon, can you add anything to that? You work with them probably closer than any of us.
Sure. Our cabinet team does work with experts and specialists in their fields, and we are, again, like you just mentioned, satisfied with the response time and the quality of the responses, and willingness to, get back to us in a timely manner and provide us with high quality information.
I feel like there's a consensus of approval for them. So the next portion would be a motion to approve the independent contractor services agreement with Dennis Wolliver Kelly for legal services for the fiscal year 2025-26 as presented.
Can I ask one more question before we get to the motion?
Absolutely.
So the not to exceed, how is that number established?
That number is based on previous contracts, and it is possible that we will be able to reduce that moving forward, but at this point, we're keeping it sort of status quo at the moment.
Got it.
And before a motion is made, I just wanted to chime in on this as well, regarding the satisfactory rating for DWK. I'm also in agreement with all of you that we have some very complex issues, and the way DWK has navigated those issues and provided information and articulated information down to the board level has always been, to me, beyond satisfactory. It's been great. So I agree with what's been said about them already. So with that, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the independent contractor service agreement with DWK for legal services for the fiscal year 25-26 as presented.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi.
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines.
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
Agenda item 5G, approval of amendment to employment agreement for district superintendent. This item is for approval of an amendment to the employment agreement between the board and the superintendent. Prior to discussion and voting on the amendment, Government Code Section 54953 requires an oral summary of the recommended salary or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits for a local agency executive. The law requires that the summary be provided during open session of a regular meeting in which the final action is to be taken. Pursuant to the superintendent's current employment agreement and in consideration of the satisfactory performance evaluation which the board gave the superintendent for the 2024-2025 school year, under the amendment, the term of the superintendent's employment agreement is extended by 1 year to June 30th, 2027. In addition, the annual 2.5% step increase in salary already included in the current employment agreement, which is the same as the adjustments made for other management and administration employees pursuant to their salary schedule, is applied to this additional year under the amendment. And the board received no request for public comment. Is there any board discussion?
I do not have any questions or comments.
I reviewed the contract and the information as presented. I don't have any questions.
Thank you, Sharon, for your hard work. And may I receive a motion to approve the amendment of the employment agreement with the superintendent as presented?
I move to approve the amendment of the employment agreement with the superintendent as presented.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines,
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 5H, declaration of need for fully qualified educators with Chief Human Resource Officer Craig Chavez.
I'd like to say that the title doesn't necessarily fit because it makes you feel like you need them. And actually, it's a matter of form on an annual basis that we need to complete this document to provide to the Commission on Teacher Credentialing in anticipation of potential needs, even if they don't arise. So the document that is attached reflects that information. It is our best guess of what we may need or may not need.
Okay, thank you, Craig. The board received no requests for public comment, so we'll open up for board discussion. Matt?
I have no comments.
I don't either. I reviewed the materials. Thank you.
Thank you. May I receive a motion to approve the declaration of need for fully qualified educators as presented?
I move to approve the declaration of need for fully qualified educators as presented.
Second.
Board President Jason Remenzi,
Yes.
Board Member Sarah Hines,
Yes.
Board Member Matt Glazer.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 6, information items. The following items are presented to the governing board as items for information purposes only. These items do not require board discussion or action. A, Title IX quarterly reporting for up to June of 2025. And the board did not receive any requests for public comment, so we'll move on. Unless there's any questions from the board. Thank you. Agenda item 7, public comment on non-agendized items. Members of the public may address the board regarding items or topics within the board's jurisdiction that are not on the agenda at this time. We'll start with our only request, Juliet Norman.
Good evening. I am Juliet Norman. I am the president of the Carmel High School Student Senate, and this year I was also the Associated Student Body President. Next year, I will be your student representative to the school board. The Student Senate has asked me to present you with a resolution and petition to bring attention to the fact that certain technological improvements related to internet and cellular connectivity are sought by the Carmel High School student body and to request improvements. The current technological state at Carmel High School is such that students, faculty, and staff have difficulty and are often completely unable to access internet or cellular connectivity. This is a health concern because students, faculty, and staff rely on internet and cellular connectivity for medically necessary technology, including glucose monitoring and other health monitoring. It is also a safety concern because it limits the ability for efficient communication in the case of emergency or perceived emergency. And it is also an educational concern because much of the educational resources we rely upon are contained online. Other schools do have access to internet and cellular connectivity on their campuses. The improvements we suggest are to implement technology increasing cellular and internet connectivity and availability on campus, such as conduct a site survey to determine coverage and capacity requirements, select multi-carrier repeaters, network extenders and or metro cells for cellular coverage, and or upgrade an enhanced wireless LAN or campus Wi-Fi solution. The senators circulated a petition which requests these improvements and which was signed by 144 students, faculty, and staff who are impacted by the lack of internet and cellular connectivity on campus and the detrimental existing and potential effects it has on health, safety, and educational quality for themselves and others. May I please approach to give you a copy of the resolution and signed petition?
You can drop it with Michelle, and she'll distribute it to the board and add it to the public record.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We do not have item 8 tonight, informational report from the superintendent. So we'll move on to closed session. Item 9, closed session. Before adjourning to closed session, the board will identify the closed session items and provide an opportunity for public comment on the items. Item 9A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, subsection D2, one case. Item 9B, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, subdivision D1, Monterey County Superior Court, case number 23CV003167, Davy Christine versus Carmel Unified School District. And the board did not receive any requests for public comment on our closed session agenda. And we will now adjourn into closed session at 6:10 p.m. Good evening. Coming out of closed session, the board reports the following. For item 9A, the board voted unanimously to reject a personal injury claim against the district. For item 9B, the board met with legal counsel and provided direction regarding the case on the agenda. I adjourn this meeting at 7:06 p.m. Thank you.